Hey, what's up? Scotty here with Frank Spaeth for another 2-minute drill right here on the station 1520 KOLM The Ticket. So, the draft is finally come and gone. How do you think the Purple did this year, Frank?
Well, I think they did pretty well, Scotty. I think they addressed a lot of their needs. Obviously, the big one was the first-round pick, Laquan Treadwell. Out of Mississippi, big receiver, strong receiver, not super fast, but he's got good hands. If he can get himself open, he's going to be a huge target for Teddy Bridgewater next year. Really excited about that one. Address some other needs, a couple of corners, a couple outside linebackers, so those aren't bad. We had talked about those a couple of different times.
Oh, yeah.
That those are some of their needs, so we'll see how those guys pan out. Maybe the most interesting was the wide receiver Moritz Boehringer from Germany.
Mobo.
Yeah, right?
The Germinator.
The Germinator. I'm interested to see how he's going to do in the NFL. The German Football League isn't quite the National Football League,
No.
so he has some pretty good numbers over there, but we'll see how he does, see how that translates into English.
And that's really been the most talked about story coming out of this weekend. 6-round picks, so you're not really risking anything. I mean, you're more or less wasting a pick if this doesn't work out, but for the most part, people are just ecstatic for this kid because he more or less got into football by watching Adrian Peterson highlights when he was 17 years old, so the Vikings have been his team forever.
Yeah, right? How funny is that? This guy from Germany, favorite team is the Minnesota Vikings, and where does he go?
The Minnesota Vikings. It's a pretty sweet story, too.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Like you mentioned it, too, we got 2 receivers, got a couple defensive backs. We talked about Laquan Treadwell being a possible number 1 receiver for Teddy. That 2nd-round pick, Mackenzie Alexander out of Clemson, he's a cornerback. I'll be honest, on Friday I was like, we got Von Bell, we've got Cody Whitehair, they're still on the board for offensive tackle and safety respectively. Why aren't we grabbing one of them?
Yeah, I question that 2nd-round pick a little bit, too. His production wasn't great. I mean, he started at Clemson for 2 years. No interceptions in that time. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. I think maybe, to me, that seemed to be maybe the biggest reach on the board for the Vikings. So, another thing, though, I think, too, is we've talked about Trader Rick and his magic doings. I think, as much as what he did in the draft maybe was something that he did that set him up for next year.
Yeah, he traded out of the 3rd round, and he picked up a 3rd and 4th in 2017. So he's obviously thinking ahead. So it's still a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. Because you don't know how that pick's going to pan out. So, I mean, you're looking at a couple of mid-round picks next year. A 2-for-1, that's not a bad deal. I think, Trader Rick pulled off a great deal, I think, in this one.
I think for the most part, I think the whole basis of this draft in 2016 was depth. I think he wanted to create more competition between all the players that he has on his roster, because I think he returned like 93% of the defensive roster that he had from last year for all as far as snaps go. So I think he just wants to create more competition, get the best of the best available, since we could be repeating champs of the NFC North division. So he's looking playoffs and even more.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like we said, there were a couple definite needs. They were addressed. I think everywhere else, it was a case of, hey, let's see what these players can do. Let's give them some time, whether that's special teams, whether that's practice squad. We'll wait and see where all these guys fit in, but I think there's definitely some good pieces, maybe not immediate contributors across the board here, but definitely some guys to keep an eye on over the next few years.
Yeah, we just got to get through OTAs, training camp this summer, and even preseason. Hey, we're back to football season, baby.
It's going to be here before we know it, right?
I hope so.
Let's just hope all our key parts, AP, Bridgewater, etc., can all keep themselves healthy between now and then.
Healthy is the key word right there. Absolutely. That's going to do it for this edition of the 2-Minute Drill on 1520 KOLM The Ticket. Like us if you haven't already, 1520 The Ticket on Facebook, and check out our website, 1520theticket.com. Frank, see you next time, man.
Sounds great.